fix it. Hello, hello. Shit, I think I changed. Well, no, never mind. Whatever. I'll try to talk loud. Yeah, reverse speed Smith counter. I've been pretty busy today. I mean, I didn't even get my Hive post up about my season yet, so not doing my part, you could say. All right. Just be this guy.
Good evening, Pretoria. Welcome back to Sunday Night Gospel with myself, RoguePatton, and my boy, Mondroid.
Yeah.
Yay! Who almost dodged me tonight.
No. It was calculated.
It was calculated.
Showed up with 5 minutes to spare.
My goodness. People's Guild says Happy Father's Day. Appreciate you. Thank you very much. It was a beautiful day. My wife and my kids did a great job, making me feel awesome today. And so yeah, very, very blessed. We got a big day on the agenda tomorrow. Got my boy going in for tonsillectomy. And so yeah, so we're in this weird spot right now. So like if you guys hear stuff in the background, that's my kiddos. That's like we're all still awake. We're making stuff. We're trying to get ready. So we've got essentially his procedure tomorrow being at 11 kind of puts it in a weird spot where he can't eat after midnight, but he can't drink anything after 7. So like if he went to bed at his normal time, dude would be straight starved by the time we went to the procedure. So like
he's gonna learn about fasting.
Right. Yeah, just tell the 4-year-old that all you need is the word of God, and you don't live on just bread alone, but the word. It'll be like, yeah, sure. How about a pizza?
Yeah.
But yeah, so we're staying up late tonight. Gonna try to get a second meal in him before bed, and then hopefully that'll get him some time to kind of also sleep in, maybe, so he's not waking up kind of dealing with that so much. Maybe we can just go right to his procedure later in the day. But so that's what we got going on. But yeah, it's crazy times here. But yeah, you were saying you had a super busy day today.
Yeah, nothing too important, but just killing time pretty efficiently.
I bet. Yeah, so People's Guild says tonsillectomy, that's a pretty standard procedure these days, ain't it? Yeah, I mean, for the most part, I think everybody gets it, but I don't know. Like, I'm in a spot where it's kind of interesting as having kids. What I've found is just generally any situation that puts them outside of their like standard operating condition freaks me out, and I hate it. So. Yeah.
That would make me so nervous, like, about anything, because I get super anxious about that kind of stuff for myself. So if it was like a kid or somebody I cared about like that under my supervision, it's like, shit.
It really is. Honestly, it's one of those things. Glory, thank you very much for the sub, man. We appreciate you. Good morning. Yeah, it's there's a couple times in my life where I've kind of witnessed it. The one which was, it's funny because you watch enough of these videos online and you see like coming out of anesthesia or a loopy on drugs in the hospital, like those are funny videos, right? They're like, he's drunk and he's 4. You know what I mean? So like, but that happened to me, and it was like my kid was going in for a procedure and he wasn't going under. It was just like some kind of weird like loopy drug that they put him on so that they could do the procedure, and he was like straight tripping is what it looked like. And he's just kind of looking he's just kind of like drooling, and he's looking around, and I could just see in his eyes that he had no idea what the heck was happening. And so I felt terrible. I was like, I want to take this from you so bad. Like, I'm so sorry that you're out of your gourd right now. I hate seeing him like this. It wasn't funny. It's funny to watch it on the internet with everybody else's kids, but seeing my kid outside of his brain, I'm just like, nope. So,
nope.
Yeah. So Jangle says, freaked me out when my pup skips a meal. Can't imagine my child going into surgery. It's just, and you're right, it's a standard procedure, it really is, and got total faith like in everything. It's just, it sucks, but yep. So my bird was sick one time and I was a wreck all day. Dude, I bet Mondroid, that's crazy. But yeah, so end of season, we just got done. I ended up putting a little post together on my journey, because this was my first run as a scholar. So I went to Splinter Stats, ran my numbers, put everything together, and it was honestly, I had a fantastic run this first go around, and it was a nice, in my mind, a nice floor. You know, like I experienced a nice floor. So Vorkis ended up going 199 out of 348, so about a 57% win rate. Climbed to 4540. We played out of diamond, so I was on the diamond leaderboard. And it was funny, I was second on the diamond leaderboard, only to my boy Woody, who decided to activate his account this season too. So he was playing out of diamond. He played all the way up to, I think he was at like 4,900 rating or something like that. He'd have been up there on the champion leaderboard, but he like straight wrecked me on mine. So that was awesome. But so yeah, I was doing the Vorkis account for ranked and the Woody account for tournaments for the most part, and all went, I think, really well for those. We at the end of season on Vorkis, we did end up tapping into the bot to fully utilize some of the energy and the chests that we needed to open. Vorkis is playing behind on soulbound cards, so we're really trying to ramp up glint production there so that we can get those kind of sped up. So like one of the things that I've noticed is, as a scholar, and that's kind of one of the things that we'll talk about on the leaderboard, is not only playing the 25 games a day, right, just to keep up with your energy, but also that extra energy that you need to overcome like chests that you open for crossing leagues, chests that you open if you're going for those in the rewards chest. Like there's extra games that you almost have to stack on every day throughout the season just to keep up if you're playing exclusively modern, right? So like in a 15-day season, like at 25 a day, that puts you at what I think it was like 375 or something like that. Hold on, 25 a day times 15, yeah, it's 375 battles a day. But what we find is the majority of people are at like 475, and we'll kind of talk about what that looks like. So that's one of the areas that I plan on improving this coming season, is accounting for that a little bit better and playing hopefully more in the ranked modes to go for it. Tournament wise, ended up doing 14 tournaments, went 135, 91 and 1, took home 5,558 SPS. So, you know, $55. I think that's really generally the way I look at it. I know SPS is down right now, but SPS at a penny I think is a pretty easy number to go with. So chop that in half. That felt really good for the first go around. I think there's a lot of things that I learned along the way, playing in wild, playing some of these gold foils. So I plan on doing better than that this coming season. The YGG tournaments have been awesome. We'll kind of talk about those. This last one was pretty interesting. I finally broke top 10 on that one. And, you know, those rewards, you know, we'll kind of get later as those quests are unlocked for us. So we'll see what kind of those payouts were. But, you know, overall, while the account was botting, you know, I think it did very well. SPS, we got 823 SPS botting with just essentially Chaos Rebellion max level in Wild. It pushed up to Champ 2, but I don't think it was able to push past it. And I think it fell back to Champ 3 by the end of the season. But really kept up with some glint, kept up with some SPS, more SPS than the 2000 DEC for buying in. So in my mind, that's just an auto win. So, you know, the account itself is bringing stuff in. We pulled in 2000 SPS from the Vorkis account playing ranked. So DEC rentals for the cards that I'm not using that are max, kind of the promos, I put those on, brought in about $13, 13,000. So like in all, you know, we're looking at like the total SPS that was brought in was about 5,900 SPS between the accounts. So kind of on the breakdown, you know, the between the rentals and the SPS that just my account was doing, it brought in about $20. Vorkis running that on ranked brought in about $20, and then the tournaments between the two brought in about 25. And then, like I said on the air, I've been doing $20 a paycheck essentially. So like there was 2 times I bought in for $20 along the way here, so about $100 of inflow last season, you know, into the RoguePatton account. So felt pretty good about that for the first go around of this. I like that number. But you said you weren't able to do the official numbers on yours, but where do you feel like you were compared to where you were last time? You were on a track for 1 million SPS by next release. How do you feel like this season went for you?
Okay, so I do have, let me see, 20, okay. The number that I ended up with this season is 34,098.
34,098. Wow.
Yeah, between the two. And, well, hold on. That's including my staked SPS rewards,
Oh, that's
too.
good, though.
So, like, yeah,
34,000 though. Isn't that like $300? Something like that.
I mean, at these prices, yeah.
On a season.
Unless
Nice.
my math is wrong. I don't know.
No.
But yeah, it's like I have the numbers. I just didn't get the article up. Didn't
Good.
get the article.
Do you feel like your play was good though? Still balanced? Still, nothing too crazy this season compared to last?
Well, I mean, we'll talk about it, I'm sure, but I did get a bit more battles in, so it's kind of stressing me out a little bit, just because like it took a lot of time, but
Yeah. No, I'm feeling you.
it's more than I really want to be spending, but it is what it is.
Yeah. Yeah. Glory
As long
says
as we have this system that's like, the more battles you do, the better. It's like,
Yeah. Yeah, no, that was something we'll kind of talk about when we're looking at the leaderboard. Glory says his wife and kids made him a bunch of cookies. So, yeah. Happy Father's Day to you as well, buddy. But yeah, looking at the leaderboard, that was one of the things that I kind of wanted to talk about here is last season, still top of the leaderboards, Lorcus with more efficiency than Raw Power. He went 319 over 487. So running at that 65% win rate. Couple percentages lower than he was last year. Or I'm sorry, last season, but
yeah,
still.
last year.
Still, looking very good there. But then I think the other thing that really stuck out to me is looking at like spot 7, 9, 11, 10. You've got this rush here of like 800 to 900 plus matches. Holy crap.
And look at me in the middle of it all with
Right?
468.
Yeah.
And I felt like I was playing a lot.
Well, I mean, and that's what I say. 468 divided by, I don't know, let's just say 15. You're averaging 31 games a day. You know what I mean? That is a lot. That is a lot. And I feel like that's the floor almost. Like 31 a day will keep up with chests and like opening up and the extra energy and stuff like that. But like I was doing the quick math and it was like, all right, if we look at Tofu went 943 over 15 days. That's 63 battles a day. Like that's double what you did. Twice as much. This man is playing. Absolutely playing. But yeah, he's clipping at like at this is one of the things that Virus originally brought up when we were talking about the new rating system back in the day. He's like, if everybody's at like 60%, then it's just how much you play, right? So this is almost where we're at, because Tofu went 517 over 943. So he was clipping at a 55% win rate. But by like brute force and time, he pushed himself into top 10 with a 55% win rate. Because like as long as you're above 50%, it's literally just, playtime at that point. But still, pretty big gap between 10th and 1st in terms of rating. That's 1380 in rating. That's still, so efficiency still looks like it's trumping brute force where that's concerned. But
yeah, you need a little bit of both. mostly efficiency, but you can't, you know, you gotta still play a good amount.
But yeah, I think this was one of the things I'd seen something. I think Bulldog went to a scholar at that point. I think something switched up. Yeah, I think his
I saw that
uptick
on
in
Twitter.
games.
He was talking about the black foils and how his account generates too much glint, so he felt in order to spend it and keep buying energy, he had to get a scholar to play more.
Wow. I mean, you can't just sit on glint. Got a whole nother set coming up here. You know, I mean, if they release some titles here again, like, you'll be all right.
Yeah, I'm not really sure what his account situation, how much he's sitting on, but
Yeah.
That's kind of been my thought. I'm sitting on 5 million, so I
Yeah.
kind of stay around there. Figure that's like by the time they announce any new rewards or something, I'll be in a good spot. So
Yeah. Oh man, People's Guild is like a gifting champion of subs. Thank you, buddy. Gifted to Druid's blood. Druid says, "Are you a YGG guild, Rogues Guild?" I am not personally a guild. Rogues Guild. This was actually like a channel name from my physical trading card team that we had back when we were playing Force of Will. We were the Rogues Guild. We traveled and did tournaments in 2019 and stuff like that, and I did content then, got jerseys and all that stuff. So then when I came into crypto, like, I adopted the tag RoguePatton, you know, so it's like, you know, and so this account, like the Rogues Guild, is like, I don't actually own a guild. There's no Rogues Guild, you know, it's just me still with a bunch of other guilds. So like, I'm still a part of the Iron Faith crew, and then this gap season I was actually part of that tournament scene, was being officially in a YGG on-chain guild. And so I was kind of shopping around, I was looking for it, and actually had some old friends from Splinterlands TV reach out. They had a guild called The Firm. And so The Firm is a YGG official on-chain guild, and so I joined up with them. Mondroid joined in too, so did Tails. And so we've been rolling with them for this gap season and just hanging out with them again. So it's like some of the OG people, I want to say Shylin Knight's in there, Elephantium's in there, Bobcar J, Crazy Keyboard Kira is in there. So lots of the OGs. So that was actually really cool. It was already, The Firm was basically like a Splinterlands start at that point, and so they were kind of all getting rebirthed and back into it. So it was a perfect time to join up with them. But hopefully that answered your question, Druid. But oh man, Jangle says it's time to start stacking glint. Just max my gold foils or the GF epics last season. Wow. So like, are you like pretty set on gold foils for all the rewards? That's pretty crazy. All I've left is the damn Death Ranger. Yeah. Oh my goodness. Rogue is deaf, part of the People's Guild. Oh yeah, I'm all day People's Guild. I love those guys. Honorary member. Didn't have to pay anything, but yeah, I'm on that bus. But yeah, focusing in on one task goal in Splinterlands is what I find the most difficult thing. Yeah, honestly, I'm in that same boat right now, especially as like I'm trickling in like some money. Is you know, what do I spend that money on? Because man, the thought crossed my mind today. I was scrolling back through Untamed cards, and I was like, man, am I really, like, should I be going into Conclave Arcana right now? Because like the original plan was to just try to build my Conclave Arcana while I was doing the scholaring. But also, like, part of me is looking at this other stuff, and I'm like, well, you know what? The bot's doing good. Like, if I'm stacking, like, if I'm just building my account, and if I'm gonna maybe like always offer my service to a whale, like maybe I actually go backwards instead of trying to keep up with new stuff. Maybe I'm buying the old stuff that's cheap, because like I'm looking at Untamed and I'm like, you know, I could buy a Cryptic or a kitty for like the same price, just about right now. And I'm like, man, your boy could use a kitty, you know. Hell, I was looking at the prices. I think if I was looking right, you can go buy a Archmage Arius for about what you could buy the Rebellion Legendary Summoners for. And I'm like, bro, there's only like 84 of those cards. Like, hey, that's nice.
Yeah, it is interesting times with all that, you know. It's just like,
Mm-hmm.
man, the wild cards and like their value, you know, it's different.
Yeah. And it's always been like, I guess, and that's what it was never, I guess my end goal will be to own everything in the game, you know, because that's the cool part is there's so much to own and I just don't have that much money. I just won't get to that point. So I'm not really hurting myself, just kind of moving in that direction instead. You know what I mean? I'm like, all right, well, maybe that is something that I do. And the other aspect of that is like, really, it's the promos. Because like at the end of the day, like I could really be kind of putting in money right now, building Conclave Arcana, but then like, I don't know what's going to happen when the airdrops happen and it's just like the black foil people getting those, you know, and those cards become crazy. Or what if we do like another run of Hall of Legends and I've got like another 12 cards that I can't afford, or like another Heloise, and I'm just like, bro, maybe I just can't, like, I can't afford that. Maybe I need to stay like cheap, bulk, build up for the bot and just offer my services to the whales that can't afford that. That's kind of really where my head's at right now. But I don't know. You're right. I was listening to the People's Guild and they were talking about some of that stuff too. And I own some land and I'm like constantly thinking like, maybe another $100 I'll go get another plot, you know. That's always a thought too. So yeah, there's so many ways to play the game. It's crazy. Absolutely crazy.
It's crazy, dude.
I think you're at a point though, like you can kind of keep up, can't you? Like you're at a level of play and income from the game that you can kind of maintain what you're doing, right?
I think so. Like if I wanted to put all my earnings right back into the game, then yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know. I'm still trying to figure it out what I want to do, because on one hand, what if I just started saving up for 7th edition now? You know what I mean? And I just make do with the Conclave Arcana that I got.
Yeah.
If promos come out, I just skip them. And then
What's
go like
7th?
12K into the next pre-sale, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, what do we got? Alpha, Beta, Untamed, Chaos, Rebellion. Oh, you're right. Conclave, boom, 7th. 7th edition. That's crazy.
7th edition would be coming out in a year and a half or whatever, and
yeah. Yeah, because I mean, I know that's one of the things that you're dealing with right now is the promos. Like your position on the promos, like you're kind of feeling. I mean, but I can't look at you, 8th place, and you don't have what are you missing? You don't have the 0 cost at max level, right?
No, I have it at silver, but I rented a max last season. It's
Nice.
just a card I've decided that I just kind of have to have.
Yeah.
Because
How
like
much does that
every
cost
mana
you?
below like 15 mana.
Oh,
Like,
yeah,
if
you're
you don't
slamming it.
have the strength in, like you just lose.
100%. How much does that
To the
cost you?
people. I don't think I got as good of a deal this season. I think it was like 250 DEC a day last season. It's pretty spendy, but at the end of, you know, it's like it helps in tournaments, helps
Yeah.
in brawl, helps in rank. So
I mean,
feel
yeah,
like
you kept good efficiency there, for sure.
Yeah.
Is there any other ones that you have to like you don't own a Heloise, right?
No, I don't.
But you don't rent that, right? You just kind of play around it.
I try to play around it, not very effectively.
Sometimes you still just get steamrolled by the Heloise, huh?
Oh yeah, I mean, there's so many rule sets now that she's just so strong, you know.
Yeah.
There isn't anything you can really do about her anymore because you know, a lot of the things that were around, I guess, in Chaos Legion, you know, it's just I don't know. I don't really. It's hard to explain really what changed, but I feel like she's never been this big of a problem for me.
Yeah, I mean, I would say Force Field was a big one. Force Field was a big one. The amount of Protect that I think was in the meta in Chaos, I think was a big one too. Speed was huge in Chaos Legion, so like there was a lot of things that kind of just got in the way of Heloise being like super valuable. But now that everything kind of curtailed, at least where speed and all of that is concerned, she's got a lot more playability now, for sure.
Yeah, because I mean, you know, back in the day when like rage setups were good, you know, she wasn't that effective against them, and Lux Vega was, you know, speed and armor and health, which is things she does not want to face.
Yep. Yep. And I mean, like at the end of the day, some of those summoners were just like the ones that you had to deal with. Oh yeah, Lux. You mentioned Lux, but what was the black one? Just having that evasion on everything, like that's. I was like, yeah, that helps. Like you were already kind of behind on the speed meta, but now, you got that to deal with. But yeah, that force field I think was a big one. You know, just slamming that. That's one of the things that I'm like revisiting now that I'm doing wild tournaments. It's like I'm having to remember the things that used to got in my way. Like I come in, like that was where I'm saying, like I think I've got some more money to make on tournaments because I had to relearn some things. Like I just came in aping some like crazy combos, and then I'm like, oh wait, yeah, like I'm staring at some cheap old lineup. And I'm just like looking at my $1,000 lineup, and I'm like, this is gonna just get wrecked. Like my Silic slip spawn, flipping Cocaine Bear is going to just wreck me here. I was
yeah. Well, it's like, you know, a lot like a modern strat, right? EMP with Slayer or whoever, right? It's like, yeah, I'm gonna hit him for 12 with my shield slam, and then it's like, oh yeah. It doesn't do anything.
That's exactly right. It's like, oh yeah, I remember.
I've got 5 protects. This guy's gonna get
gonna get beefy. Emma, good evening. Yeah, so that was one of the things I had to remember. I'm like, oh yeah, I gotta play around all this crap again. Great.
Yep.
So, yep. So the overall I think that's kind of generally why Heloise is doing what it's doing. But yeah, no, Glory, I mean, I think at the end of the day, everyone that is not a super, I would even say the super whales probably also are in the same boat of like they've just got more things that they can buy, but it's all still just as confusing. It's like, all right, which direction do I go, you know? So yeah, these are the things I'm thinking about lately too. I'm like, man, I think there's a lot of older cards that I could like beef up the bot, you know what I mean? And just let it maybe do better in wild, you know? I don't know. But also just build my collection that I've wanted for a while. So, we'll see.
Yeah, well, I mean, like, if you're thinking I'm gonna get everything in this game, then... I mean, I guess it doesn't matter what you go for first then.
Yeah, that's kind of really, and I'm almost thinking now is the best time to go for, because like we're still in the bear depressed prices, and like Survivor hasn't really super kicked off yet. Land isn't like super there yet, so like I think there's still that floor on max level cards. Plus, like, I think there's still a lot of people trying to free up some liquidity for the new stuff. You know, a lot of those people are trying to chase these black foils and chase all that. So, like, that's where I'm wondering if, like, this Arius is on the market because, you know what I mean? Oh my goodness, Changles. My man. Jeez, thank you, sir. You are the best. Setting up our streamers and our viewers. You guys are awesome. But yeah, so looking at one of the things I kind of wanted to look at here, I don't know why I don't know why these other dashboards aren't loading, so we got to go on the 3-month. But one of the things that I wanted to kind of show was, I don't think, remember when we were talking about what we kind of thought was going to happen once Conclave Arcana kind of jumped in? We thought there was going to be like a super drop in modern battles, right? And that was one of the things that we were talking about, was like, there really hasn't been like a super uptick in SPS like we expected, or at least for me, I don't think there has. Do you agree?
Oh, no, not... well, like, the first season was pretty good, and then I feel like it tapered off pretty quickly again.
Yeah, so let's say back then, or like first of the things, we were at like 14,000 battles and all that stuff. Coming off of Modern, that was close to 20, right? So we had a pretty big drop, like a 30-40% drop in players. But then like now we're getting back up to 18. You know, we're at 18, looking at 18,000. So now we're almost getting back to the levels that we were right during the chaos. So like we're seeing that redistribution, and so that is super encouraging because it also matches this one. So we've got, looking at our like players, you know, player uptick has just like really gone through the roof, I would say, like up and to the right, which is absolutely wonderful. We're still 244 players a day, 215, 200, and then as it relates to spell books, you know, slight uptick there that kind of matches it, peaking out sometimes at like 14, 13, 12 spell books. And so kind of seeing that, when really, like what we've talked about, we haven't really done a big marketing thing yet. This I think is just YGG. Like, would you agree?
Well, yeah, I mean, it's only been... I mean, I think that's the main thing that's been happening, you know? So, like, there might be something else going on in the background, but nothing major that they've announced as far as that stuff goes.
Yeah. Yeah, so, like, if I go back to some of these, and this is kind of what I wanted to highlight. So the YGG tournaments, we're about halfway through these at this point. We've done 3 of them. We got 3 more. And so these ones that were completed, like when we started, this is one of those things. If you look at everybody that's up here, you know, top 10, these are all big people. You know, your first YGGer with no guild is in 9th place. And then really it just doesn't, you got a no guild here. But, you know, for the most part, it's all your normal guys, right? And we don't see any LTEs or lights till down in 23, right? These light accounts are the ones that don't have the spell books. So then, fast forward to last week, which was super crazy to see. Look at that, 19-1 on a light account. So somebody here, whatever this P61 Eternal something, is a non-spellbook player that came in and went 19-1 in a chaos or a conclave only bronze tournament. So super impressive there, but it wasn't just that. 6th place light, 7th place light, 9th place light, and like we're all still here. Like I'm here, Ghostly's here, you know, got Blimey, Shylin, like you still got your big dogs in here, all going
there,
for
though.
it. Credits, Luca. Yeah, where are you, dude? What did you
Dude,
do?
I forgot to play that one.
But look at all these, and this is awesome. All these light accounts that kind of made day 2 and really pushed. So like, I think generally when I was seeing here, I was like, okay, Like, one, I think they're figuring it out. Like, they're figuring out the game. They're playing this, and seeing that progression from week 1 to week 3, I'm like, okay. And this is, I think, kind of what drives that buy-in. You know what I mean? I don't know what... If I didn't have a spell book, but I went 19-1 in these tournaments, like, I don't know if I would stay without a spell book forever. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
Did very well. So yeah, I was really impressed with what I saw here in this last one. And I think the only thing that's missing for me personally is I would love to shoot that guy a DM and just be like, dude, congratulations. Like, you killed it. Well done. Like, if you need anything, let me know. Like, you're awesome. You know what I mean? Like, to get like a DM from somebody, like, I made a joke because I think I snapped a picture. It's like, you've got Ghostly here. You see this guy with his Rooney and his crown and his red cape and everything. Like, there's a presence with that kind of tag. You know what I mean? He's got his titles. And so, like, if you got a DM from somebody, you know, with a crown and a cape, and he's just saying, like, hey, dude, good job, man. Like, you're doing great. That would be nuts. I think that would go a long way with a new player. So, you know, that was something I wish I could reach out to some of these people. Like, congratulations, dude, on, like, coming in, no spell book, and just, like, doing it, you know? This no spell booker is still like in wood, so like I'm also curious, like, what are you doing? Like, are you training with your guild? Like, how are you doing this? Like, well done, dude. So, but yeah, that was one of the other things that was kind of happening that I was pretty excited about, that I wanted to kind of highlight here. But finally got my top 10, so I got the firm was sponsoring some extra YGG in the pool if you got a top 10. So I finally got mine. Mondroid over there. Just making it look easy. I was like, crap.
Yeah, I got two of those.
Yeah, you did. Thanks for sitting this one out.
I know, right? Well, I was thinking, had I gotten another one, I would have told the Elephantium to give it to somebody else.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, I don't want to hog all the bonuses.
Yeah. So People's Guild saying HTH, or girl, Heloise, Zawis is sneaky. Just tried to drop her on me in a 23 mana match. I mean, I've tried too. Like, as long as I can get, like, if the match is right, that's one of the things that I've been looking at, is like, how many low mana cards can I put into a Heloise match that just don't have Weary? Because that's really, I don't care about the other cards. I'm actually praying don't do anything. The main thing with Heloise is I'm trying to kill you on spites, and I'm trying to get as many resurrects so I can get as many spites. So the other 5 cards, I just need to stay alive, and I need them to just allow my Heloise to rebirth. So, but yeah, I've tried to sneak Heloise into smaller and smaller mana rule sets as well. But
problem is, those cheap cards have Weary already, like
yeah,
the Eleanor.
In this meta, they do, right? In Wild, though, you know, you got the 0 mana cards that don't, you know. So it's interesting. How low can you go with Heloise?
Yeah, I had a Wild match. I forget which tournament it was, but I did like Fiend, Eleanor, Chicken, and then like, what did I do? I think it was like Slade with EMP.
Okay, yeah, so it's like
in melee attack from anywhere, and it was like a 18 mana match or something.
Nice. What's y'all's thoughts on Dracomoto? Oh, let's see. Let me go dust that guy off. Where's let me see if I can find that. Ooh.
I'm actually, I don't know. I don't know about Dracomoto. It's like
I think it's I mean, I guess for me, oops. Nah, what do I need to do? Probably just need to go find Splinterlands. Where's our Dracomoto post? I don't know. I wish I could just find Splinterlands, the company, and just be able to easily get their stuff. No, you didn't. Stop it. This man's on fire. Run the kid. Congratulations, buddy. Jangles is on it. We appreciate you very much.
Everybody gets sub, I guess.
Alright, so let's see. Here's our voucher card. We've got our got another 8 mana card. 3 magic attack at max, 2 magic attack at min. It's a sneak magic, which I think is good. Last one we saw was like beta, right? Or no, we have the 8 mana sneak dual attacker from Rebellion, the captain.
Oh, yep, Fellblade.
Yep, Fellblade. But really not so much though. Spite at the last level. That's pretty interesting. Spite on a magic attack. I actually kind of like that. We don't have that yet, right? That'll be a first. So Spite on a magic attack, resurrecting. That would be interesting. Stun on these sneaks. That kind of goes with the Hall of Legends one too, right? You've got a knockout sneaker in the Hall of Legends. I mean, personally for me, when I saw this one, I wasn't like swept off my feet by it, you know. But it will be good.
I mean, so yeah, I mean, I think it's decent. I don't know. I might skip it, but it's hard to say. I mean, those, like, you need so many vouchers now. It's like 12,000 vouchers or something, you know. And I mean, they're not super cheap anymore. So,
yeah, I mean,
they're still cheap, but like you just need so many of them. So
yeah, I think on the People's Guild podcast, Royal was mentioning that this is actually the same price as Keelan. So that's going to be interesting. But yeah, Emma's talking about the potion inflation too. 8 now. I noticed that too. I was like, wait, what? I was like, we're 8 potions per BCX? Like, brr, jeez. Who's going to burn that many alchemy potions? Like, oh my goodness. I wouldn't, like, ever think about doing that, you know?
It's like, we printed too much shit. Just make everything more expensive.
Oh my goodness. Jangles knows the universe we are peddling with games. But yeah, Fire does have some great sneak plays, and so yeah, I think the Rally there, I think is going to be really good. Or I'm sorry, the Inspire. An extra boost to the melee attacks on red is just going to be really good anyway. I've found that anytime I can sneak in Inspire when we're running the sneak team, it's usually very beneficial. Pairs well with our Night Stalker, with the ambush. Like, it's all good for some extra love there. And then yeah, I think Stun's just one of those abilities that it's nice to have. There's many times when I'll just watch a battle play out. I never really go for a stun, but you know, I'll find that I just stun somebody and I'm like, ooh, yay, thank you. There's a lot of value in a stun, you know what I mean? But I never actively go for a stun. That's just a good ability to have, you know? But
yeah, I mean, for like the card's designed well for like sneak with Inspire, so you can play it with other melee guys. It's just, for 8 mana, I think that's where I run into an issue, because those other sneaks are like 3 and 4 mana, you know? So it's like, and if you get into 8 mana territory to like run the combo with them, whatever, right? It's like, I don't know that sneaks are the play anymore once you get above like 30 mana. Yeah, and I mean, it for sure, I mean, it pairs well with the actual Dracoshawn Bloodline tribute that we have in Dragon. So like, you know, that's a play, right? Like, you get an extra, you get all the buffs on this guy from that kill. So that'll be beneficial.
So
What
maybe
if you
from
play Dracoshans with water, and pair it with Fellblade, run like a high mana sneak team?
Oh, wait. You're right. You can run. No way.
Run the Dragon Summoner with
is a
water,
Dracoshan?
and then the Dracoshan can be pulled in.
No way. I gotta look at that. Hold on. Conclave. I don't own anything, so we just gotta look at all cards. Let's go look at
I
our
don't
dragons.
own anything.
There you are. Oh my goodness, it's a Dracoshan. So
Yeah,
this
buddy.
thing will pull in Dracoshans. Wow. So this summoner already kind of had some value, but like, what other Dracoshans? Here, let's search. What other Dracoshans are we pulling in? Whoops.
There's K. There's the 4-mana tank.
Ah, what
with,
did I do?
reflection.
Let's just go modern. So these are all already dragons. So this will be the first Dracoshan non-dragon that will pull in. And so you're saying you want to run this with blue with the Fellblade.
And Nefket.
And Nefket. Yeah, you're right. That's a good sneak team. Plus you've got the stun and the knockout combo there.
And Nefket like stuns, so you know.
Yes, Glory, you did miss something. I'm a scholar now. RoguePatton, the account is gutted, just about. Everything that I own, for the most part, here is on the rental markets. But, yep, I am full scholar. So when you see me out in the world, you'll see me as Vorkis in ranked, and you'll see me as Woody575 in tournaments. So good luck. But... But yeah, no, I guess that's an interesting play line. I didn't think about that, but you can run this, pull in multicolors there. So then, like, yeah, then you're running dragon. You can go another summoner. I mean, I guess maybe is there one color that's kind of lacking some rally or lacking some inspire? You know, that'd be an interesting conversation. You know, but
Oh yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I would say I don't know. Knowing everybody, they'll find a way to break this card, 1000%. So I look forward to seeing that happen. Glory says I need to upload some new emotes. I do. I need to spend some time and actually kind of really hash out all the rewards, you know, for all of this. But yeah, I do need some better emotes. There's a couple good ones. Jangles already gave me the one for Infidel in his opening Archmage face. So I need to get that in here. I like that one. I could get the I had them create the emote for Stampeding Calf in his face. I love that. So I need to get that in here too. But you missed buying and opening more packs. I mean, I open packs and everything, but you know, for the most part, I'm really kind of opening for the lottery tickets, and then if I don't get it, I'm just selling back for the DEC. In my opinion, CA is going to be in print for a while, so there's nothing really price-wise that I imagine there's going to be some crazy appreciation in value. So whatever I open, I'm just kind of going for the big bangs, and then anything I'm purchasing on the market, I'm just going for max. But what am I doing with all my rental DC? Well, that's what we were talking about. Is at this point, I mean, I've purchased 4 max gold foil commons. I think is like generally where my collection is right now for CA. So yeah, I mean, I purchased Sage, Artificer, I think that's how you pronounce it, Virid Venomancer, and Stampeding Calf. So I have all those kind of in max gold foils that I've purchased, and so that's like $120 there. So I'm thinking and dunking. I'm really only buying the max at prices that I think are efficient, and then I'm trying to like flip that into rentals, I guess. But like I said the whole beginning of the show, I'm also looking at Untamed stuff now, so I don't know what I'm doing. I got stuff, and we're funneling it into stuff. I'll tell you what I'm not doing. I'm not buying ice cream. It's all going back into Splinterlands. But yeah, so honestly though, this week, speaking of DEC for the boys, we had 2 participants in our Big Brain Challenge. So shout out to Jangles and to Our Faded Glory for getting submissions in. I appreciate you guys. You guys were the only 2 that did, and you guys were the first 2 that did, and this is episode 5. So I'm going to go ahead and send you guys both 1,000 DEC. So you guys are both winners. Congratulations. We'll get a lot more competitive with this as we go forward. But Mondroid and I both were tagged in these. We both commented on these. So, we appreciate you. We'll go ahead and start with Glory's here. Glory had a really good one. And this is like classic Splinterlands. Very well done, Glory. He was paying attention to what his opponent was playing in previous battles and noticed he caught his opponent spamming. So his opponent's been spamming Nidhogg like it was going out of style. So like our boy here was like, oh, I know you're going to play Nidhogg, so I'm going to run Reflection, or I'm going to run Deflect on these Bellas and just completely take away the blast damage that this Nidhogg produces. So what's interesting about that is I don't understand why his opponent still chose Blast, knowing that this was going to happen.
Right.
Like, this is the beautiful part of tactics, is like he could have defaulted into like option number 2, which is +2 speed and execute, which maybe could have helped. I think here, if we replay that,
Ibelheim,
I believe there was maybe 2 times in which if these all had execute on them, that would have maybe made a difference here. Let's see.
I mean,
that
certainly
one
better than the one that didn't matter at all.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, the +2 speed also would have been big, but yeah, there was an execute there that would have triggered. I think when Nimbleduck, Ank, Jangles, my man, Jangles is a gifting fiend. He's giving Ank. Are you just like keeping an eye on all the viewers in there, and you're just like, hey, I noticed you don't have.
They're getting us.
But good job, Glory. Way to snipe your opponent and figure out that they were getting lazy. They're getting lazy. And I've been guilty of that before. There's been many times where I've been caught sleeping or caught spamming. So well done, buddy. Way to put those hippos on the map. And then also my boy Jangles here. See, this is where like I almost wanted to pick a winner and I didn't want to pick Jangles because he beat up on me while I was in a tournament. And so we kind of talked about this in the chat a little bit, and I ended up going with the back to basics magic spamming, but I had investigated specifically the Void team with Red, knowing that magic is the play, so like would Void help? But I came to the conclusion that there was not enough like people that would get Void to get the value out of that. Like there was no way to really hold off that onslaught. But what my boy here ended up finding out was he found 17 mana, or he found 17, 24, 30, 39. He found 45 health, and I only showed up with 14, 15, 16, 25, 31. I only showed up with 37. And like this one specifically was way too far up front. So he had me very well handled. Also, I didn't have any of the shields really backing it up past this to really get past some of these other non-magic attackers that he just ends up throwing at me. So like he just ran away very quickly with value here. And so at that point, like we hadn't even seen any voids yet. Now we see our first void, and he's handling it from there. So great placement there, having that void kind of right here in this back position, not being completely up front, taking the full weight of like the full magic rush, but being in that spot 3 is like another sustain spot, making sure that he's able to hold on to his big value strikers here at the end. So yeah, this was a great play. Ended up taking right there 5 less magic damage in spot 2, and you know what, that could have made the difference. So placement of his single dwarf to really kind of negate a lot of that magic onslaught and push to the very end. It was very well done. So good job, Jangles. Jeez. And then the other part, I don't know if you guys know Jangles' history, but he loves Back to Basics. It's his favorite.
I mean, it's no surprise he beat you in Back to Basics.
I was
That's
so
like
mad.
His specialty.
I was so mad. He not only did that, but then also submitted it in the Big Brain Challenge, and I'm just like, I'm gonna have to talk about this.
Yeah.
Could have just been buried in obscurity, or maybe in just my DMs, and I could have lived my life with just him and I knowing about it. But no, you had to put it out there for the world to see.
I got some advice for that.
Yeah? What's your advice?
Just don't lose to him.
I'm working on it, all right? I get him most of the times, but not this time. Not this time. But yeah, congratulations, guys. Thank you for submitting for the Big Brain Challenge. Everybody else, please, this week, as you're kind of battling in Praetoria, and if you have an experience or a battle that you want to share with us, where you for sure outplayed your opponent, you kind of projected what they were going to do and was able to counter it successfully, please share that battle with us. Tag Mondroid, tag myself, use hashtag BigBrain, and if we show your battle on stream, I'll send you 1,000 DEC for doing it. So please share. This is what we love to talk about. So Mondroid, you got one for us today, right? Or do you want me to do mine first?
Sure, we can do whichever.
Which one are you going with? The reverse speed? Let's go. All right. So Mondroid, go ahead and walk us through this one.
Alright, so basically I was thinking reverse speed equalizer, like people are probably gonna play Smith, right? Because I'm playing Smith myself. And Venka is obviously the Smith solver, but in reverse speed it's a little iffy since she's got like a 40% chance to miss. So then I was thinking, what else could I do? And I ended up going with your boy, the Ferris Brewer, giving him the armored strike with EMP, and you know, he's got that nice new ability, Relentless Strike, and that's, you're gonna see, just does number on the Smith.
Just eats the Smith for breakfast. That's the coolest part about Relentless Strike. That's one of the most meta abilities that we have right now, and this is actually fighting through a double corruption heal, which is usually like the best sustain strategy for GBS. Is like you're just never getting through it, right? You have to eat it all at once. And back in the day, there was no way around it. You either had to go around GBS to isolate it, or, you know, like, yeah, now we got Relentless Strike. You can run through it. So yeah, running through, and especially like Health Equalizer, this corrupted heal is like super meta. And so being able to eat through like in big swings, like this is so smart. So smart.
The Chicoria too, backline cleansing all those halfings off my team helped a lot.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Yep. So yeah, the one that I had this week, let's see which one. I had a big brain one, but it was just Nomos beating Lorcus, which I don't know, it's cool. But I actually had this other one that I wanted to share, which was actually me losing, but it was highlighting a couple things that I thought were pretty interesting. So this is shout out to I don't know, whoever's playing this account. I know it's not them, but Mega, Mega K Yodo, yeah, that guy. So whoever's running this account, shout out to you. This was something that I thought was pretty interesting. It was a magic only rule set, and we got deflection. So magic only, I don't know, the main strat there is like load up on voids and try to spam a bunch of silences. So that is, I think what I did. Like, I did my best, and I brought 3 silences to this match, and I brought, what else did I do? I mean, I brought the Void Summoner, right? So, Void, like, voids. Like, my whole team is voids and silences. So, back in the day, this is like you're not getting through this. You're swinging for 1 magic, and, like, that's it. That's all you're doing. But back to that ability that you were highlighting, we have a relentless strike here, and so it's never going to be 0 anymore. Like, rage is hitting me for 1, but like this hippo in the back's gonna poke me for 2 every time. And so, I thought that was like real interesting. Rage ended up getting the affliction, so like I couldn't get anything there. But then the other thing that I wanted to highlight here, which I think is something that I never think about, but watch what happens to Rage when it drops down into position 2, or when it drops from position 2 to position 1. It goes from 2 attack to 5 because of, in my opinion, an overlooked aspect of cleanse. Is cleanse removes essentially all of the debuffs. So all of a sudden those 3 silences that I had are gone, and Rage is back up to full smack mode, and that was, I just crap. These are essentially 2 things that I brought in old strategy, I would say. Like the Super Void, Super Silence, is like an old strategy that was really hard to get around. And realistically, I think Relentless Strike and the Cleanse, honestly. So like these are things that I would revisit for like rear line cleanse. Like that would be another one where like Chikorilla might be absolutely crazy. You know what I mean? Echo real.
I've had some with her where it's like, let's say no melee, and so it's obviously ranged and magic, and they're spamming all the silences and headwinds, and yeah, there'll be matches where she just cleans off your back row, and then you're like, oh, I'm killing you now.
Yeah. So no, I thought that was as I watched this one, that's when I watched it, and then I was like, man, they ran over my stuff for not having any magic attack. I'm like, what happened? I was like, I had a full void team. Like, what went so wrong here? And that's what it was. That's what it was. All my silences were just kind of, I don't know, for the most part, didn't matter. Even after like double tribute, like all of the hippos were still at 1 magic attack. But it didn't matter. But yeah. So Glory says, wait, I can submit Big Brain with a loss? Oh, I am winning this challenge every week. I mean it's a humbling experience when you if you're able to look back on your matches and be like, yeah, why did I get wrecked here? And that's why. But and then hashtag Rogue Brain. That's yeah.
Well, you usually learn more from your losses than your wins, because it's like, oh, yep, my team did exactly what I thought it was going to do, so didn't learn anything from that.
Yep.
But when you lose, you're like, wait a minute. what the hell?
Yeah. Yep. So yeah, submit your battles this week. Let us know. Hashtag Big Brain. Let us know what you got going on this week, what you're seeing, what you're experiencing, and yeah, if you end up being on the list, we'll send you 1,000 DEC. And then a reminder to everybody, we do have, channel point redemptions. You can challenge Mondroid or I for DEC. We do have a pack opening option now that just about all of you are subscribers. That's a chance you can get a card out of a pack for pretty cheap. But yeah, so that was I think that's kind of where I was at. I feel like I had one other thing that I wanted to talk about, but now I don't remember. Don't remember.
Subscribed.
Whoa. Who ain't subscribed? He's gonna go in. Honestly, I don't know. I'd have to look. Probably everybody at this point, buddy. But yeah, did you notice anything in the meta this last week? Any kind of progressions or changes? TPG really wants that flip it and rip it. It might.
There hasn't been a ton that I feel like really changed over the season. I think more people kind of still just dialed in on how good Greybrow is. Like, he's just everywhere, and so
Yep.
like when you can make that right call to deal with them, the Craniacs, or however you plan on doing it, it's like pretty wise.
Yeah.
And like I've tried some other stuff, like knowing he's coming, and it's like even like a 17 mana battle, like, dude, he's so ridiculous.
It almost gets better the lower that it is. Like that
yeah.
value in the lower mana match is crazy. It's absolutely crazy.
Yeah, well, 'cause, like with Spite and Piercing, he might just kill 2 of those scrubby cards, and then like weaken the rest of the team with all the Magic Reflect and Thorns and stuff. And if you ever just try to run Venka into him, like that's not gonna work.
Yeah, no, I think especially like that's one of the things that like there's a lot of those reach monsters, or just being able to put that shield ward in position 2, I think is huge for him as well. But yeah, that red team functions well between like 15 and 30 mana. And it's very flexible on the summoner too. Like it's not tied to a specific summoner in my mind. Dragon runs it good, Lorcus runs it good. You can run it with the new red dwarf, right? Like lots of cool stuff there. So Emma's asking, sorry, Jangles is saying Greybrow plus Lorcus with life leech is ridiculous, coming back with full HP whatever he life leeched. Yeah, that was one of the things I ended up. Mondroid, when did I message you that? It was like 3 weeks ago. I think it was after testing. I didn't recognize it in testing, but it was something I tested like after release and everything. I was like, I wonder, because like in my head it was not only all the life leech you're getting while it's alive, but you also leached life on that last spite attack too. And so I'm like, I think this thing's keeping track of all of that. Like it might come back full bore. Sure enough, it absolutely came back full bore. And I was like, oh, gross. There's like one time, I think it came back with 12 HP, all of its shields. And I'm just like, ah, that's gross. But yeah, no, it's absolutely
freaking ridiculous, man. Like,
yeah, thanks, Jangles.
We got this dude nerfed twice, by the way.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, we did.
Like, this is after 2 nerfs.
This is this is the public approved version.
But yeah, great card. As far as the rest of the meta, I don't know. I mean, I think people kind of figured out the hippos too. Like at my rating when I'm playing like the other whales essentially, and everybody has everything. It's kind of interesting because I feel like there are just different ways to go about rule sets, and like there isn't necessarily like a best team. There's just like this team would beat that team, but that team could beat that team, and then like, you know, a third team counters the other one.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's kind of like not necessarily rock paper scissors, but like you have options, and I think it's pretty cool. Like I've been enjoying this meta probably more than any other meta.
Yeah, no, I think it's been really enjoyable, and there hasn't really been, I think, one way to, you know, skin an apple at this one. Because, there are many different approaches that you can take. And that's really, I think for me, meta-wise, that's really one of the things that I'm, like, I look at the colors, and I think I'm able to identify, like, the cards or general decks that I need to be looking out for specifically in that rule set, and then like I can look at their last 6 plays and get an idea of kind of where they're going to be running or where I think they're going to line up.
Right.
But then there's many times where it's like, I don't know, kind of the same team can go with like 3 different summoners. I'm like, man, which way are we going? Like, are we going to go dragon? Like, are we going to go with the Poison Burst, or are we going to go with the Ambush? You know, or is Nidhogg coming in this particular case? And then, you know, the EMP plays pretty standard. It's either Slade or it's Shinlo. I don't know. Shinlo's not the word, but Saifu, yeah. But there's many times where it's like, all right, you know, how is this specifically gonna play out here? And it can go either way. I think the Slade plays are kind of interesting now because I don't know if Cryptic is like a super go-to. I've seen a drop off, I think, in Cryptic plays. Cryptic's not,
yeah, I would say for sure,
like super there. I have seen an adjustment on Lorcus Keelan. I don't think the spamming of Lorcus Keelan is as big as it was.
That's what I would say about the meta, like as the course of a season goes on, because that was super hot, like at the start of the season, and then everybody's like, well, I'm just gonna bring 3 silences now and put the Smith in the snipe spot, you know, and then you're like, well, okay, then Keelan's not doing anything in that scenario, you know, so it's just... Yeah, it's like it's interesting to see how people adapt, and then things change, and then you gotta adapt again. And
yeah. So Emma wants to know if we've been playing Zhao much, and I love him. He's Jangle's comments right. I'm a fanboy. Really am. That was my favorite, and that was part of what sucked in testing. Is like he was my favorite card by far, and I had to nerf him. Like I said,
you led the charge on that one.
I had to nerf my boy, and that was a hard, you know, separation between, you know, state and religion. I would say, you know, I had a job to do, but I didn't want to do it. Not with him or her. I don't know if it's a boy or a girl, but it's honestly it's my favorite dragon summoner, I think, ever. Like I love the Poison Burst. I think it's amazing. And it pairs well with a lot of stuff. I will say that I haven't been able to spam it as much as I did in testing. I felt like in testing, it was more of the play than it is right now in the current meta. And I don't know why that is, but that's up a champion for us. I will say I spam the crap out of that in bronze and silver, even in the tournaments.
Oh, yeah, dude.
Like it is so good. Like especially Emma, you just said you got yours to silver, so like Greybrow and your abysmal elemental or your water guy.
Abyssal elemental.
Yeah, abyssal elemental. So all cards, epics. Not Draco Sean and Conclave. There you are. This guy. Get you one of these, because dropping Poison Burst on this Resurgence ability is just ridiculous. It's not fair. And then honestly, though, one of the things that we've kind of talked about in some DMs too is I felt like it was really broken in the like the resurrection rule sets when your whole team's being resurrected and you get like 4 triggers of poison burst. But I don't know, I'm kind of finding in practice that that's not as good as I thought it was. So I kind of actually avoid it in those rule sets now. But yeah, in the lower leagues, you picked a gem, buddy. You will absolutely run with this. And I think the data support. Oh, that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to go to Splinter Stats. The data supports you in that, like, if we look at first days, silver, and we go modern, go drop down, yeah, you're right there at a 62% win rate with that card. So yeah, enjoy it, buddy. Enjoy it. It is the best it's the best non-rebellion summoner. And so you got a gem. But what nerfed? I've kind of gone on I don't know. I'm gonna have to clear up. Let me talk to the team and see, like, generally what is okay or not okay to talk about in our testing and like what we changed while we were there. I know the NDAs and everything are kind of closed, but I generally don't know if it's still a good practice to kind of talk about like where things were and what we did. So let me clear all that up before, because like I wouldn't mind talking about it, you know, when this kind of stuff comes up. But yeah, he was nerfed, but we try to leave
we
that.
Gotta speak to the lawyers.
A little vague right now. Sorry about that. So, yeah, you got a good one. So let's see. Glory says he's working towards a level 2. Yep. Was nearly unbeatable in lower leagues before the nerf. Yeah, he was. Yeah, he was. Can talk about all of it, Rogue. I mean, maybe. I don't know. I feel like you're the one I shouldn't take advice from. I mean, you haven't been fired yet, but I listened to your show, and I don't know if the team really... I feel like there's sometimes where, like, you're pushing it. There's times, like, I would say specifically, like, I listened to your podcast, and you keep talking about the first... what do you keep saying? You keep talking about the first conflict card. You're like, oh, yeah, little Nogger, little...
Little
like,
Nogger.
I'm like,
Hogger.
Bro, I'm like, you can't, like, I don't think, like, there's no, like, stop. We can't talk about that. So, like, I don't know if I should take your word for it that I have free reign to talk about stuff. I'm just waiting for the day where Jangles' count just gets banned, and I'm like, I know why. I've confirmed clearance for it. Little Hogger coming.
Alright, if you confirmed it, then you can tell the people how he was nerfed.
Yeah. Okay, so yeah, the original summoner actually also had a static -1 health, and I think that was it, right? It was just -1 health.
Yeah, and the 2 poison bursts and whatever the freaking remove armor thing is.
Yeah,
toxic ward or whatever.
So one of the things that was just generally, like, honestly, it was a weaken. It was a weaken effect, and it was I don't know, it's crazy good, because in Conclave Arcana specifically, they really ramped down all the other stats so that they could beef up the attacks, and we could have like the crazy attack meta that we have right now, and made it less defensive. And so what happened was essentially the majority of Conclave Arcana, especially silver and below, just really doesn't have a lot of health. And so, you know, this summoner at like level 1 was just like, woof. It was like you couldn't play. Like your whole deck is essentially at 1 HP because of this guy. And then the poison bursts, and then like they had the elemental the elemental in bronze has resurgence, so it was just like, oh no, this is broke. And then in silver, and honestly in gold, it was kind of the same. And so generally what we found was just that -1 health was too much. Poison burst in itself was just powerful enough, and there was enough synergies that you could do and all of that like it didn't need anything else. And especially with Conclave only, and if that's generally the direction that they might build in the future, like Weaken is a super powerful ability, and throwing that on a summoner, especially with Poison Burst in the low levels, was just, it was absolutely crazy.
Well, you could play it with Stampeding Calf in silver, which also has Weekend. So, like, you know, just like -2 HP in bronze. Then it's like, hey, my entire team has 1 health now.
Yeah, so, oh my goodness. Yeah, you're right. Maybe that would be interesting, honestly, Jangles, is if summoners kind of leveled up in a way like the same that the monsters do. That would be pretty interesting, because that was really, I mean, I don't think we noticed it as much in, you know, in the higher levels, but like it also generally, there was that fun factor that had to be considered too, because the majority of the set was kind of built with these, like the Pain Forge, Reckless type of mindset too. And so just having a summoner offered in this set that really made playing those strategies even worse for you. Like, it just didn't feel like the right decision to make. And like bronze and silver really highlighted it. But I think even up into gold, you know, like, or even gold and diamond, like when you're playing low mana matches and you can spam that thing, like just that with, you know, your Greybrow is a powerful play. I think I literally just submitted that team in one of the tournaments today. It was just Shang and Greybrow, and I was like, go baby, go. I don't know if I won that one yet, but yeah. But yeah, that's a good idea though. That would be really cool to see. Really cool to see. But yeah, looking at the meta though, I don't think nothing super crazy changed for us on the top level. I think everything's really kind of playing out the way that we expected. Only a few summoners are really rocking above a 50% win rate, so that's kind of crazy to see. But the majority of the stuff, you know, that's being played, Chikarilla's getting a lot more playtime there, so that's cool. Heloise is, wow, got a high play rate for such an expensive card. But
that's enchant, yeah. 60% almost. Wow. Yep. I believe it, because first-hand experience.
You see it all the time.
But that Cutter Breeze.
Yeah, Cutter Breeze at what? The what was it? 0.44. It's a 62% win rate, but it's only seen, what, 87 matches? Look at that guy go. Cutter Breeze. That's a gladiator card, isn't it?
Yeah. He's a 1 mana archer that does like 3 damage with 6 speed and shatter.
Yeah. So Emma
turns
says,
out for 1 mana, that's pretty good.
It really is, honestly. And yeah, those cards leveled up. Like, I think really unlocking merits and allowing those cards to get leveled up, I think, was really cool. But we are definitely, I think, fast approaching needing another gladiator set. Kind of interesting. But Fabino in last, and that's the one I had a big brain play in, but think it's about the only time I've used it in a while. Yeah. Yep. Such high hopes for Fabino. Yep.
Like, I wanted him to be cool, but he just wasn't a thing.
He really, and I think there was a general, I think, issue in my mind with Fabino, being that the poison trigger, in my opinion, there was a play here that I think would have made him very feasible, is if you could apply the poison, and then I was trying to run combos where I would run an ambush card and apply the poison with Fabino, so that way I would get a poison proc in the ambush phase. Like, I thought that was like a huge meta play for me, but like, it doesn't work that way, and generally I don't understand why. But like, if you apply poison with a monster and during the ambush phase, then it'll proc in round 0. But if you apply the poison with Fabino and run an ambush monster, it doesn't proc, and I thought that sucked. So like, that was like one of the plays I was really looking to make Fabino like real good. But any other cards you expect to be huge from tests that flopped? No, I mean, not that we haven't already talked about. I think I'm still the price, the cheapest legendary summoner being Craniax is just silly. I don't understand that. It drives me nuts, honestly. Seeing this guy at $4, I'm just like, okay. Like, I don't know. We haven't made it yet. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know why. But like, frankly, I haven't really been able to run a good lineup with it either. You know, realistically, I don't know. Maybe it'll come later. You know, maybe there's a time in the future where like there will be enough of a shift where this guy is pretty relevant, but I don't know. There's still Death itself, I think, has a foot in like a couple different identities, and so I haven't really found, like, Red has a fantastic, I don't really have a strategy, I just have good cards team, and Craniax needs that. You know, Craniax and Black needs a just good cards team, because essentially that's what this guy is doing. This guy says, we're not going to be crazy, we're not going to do combos, you're going to come meet us out in the courtyard, I'm going to attack you, you're going to attack me, and one of us is going to stand, and like, that's it. Like, no shenanigans. And he just doesn't have a supporting cast, I think, that really kind of goes with him, or I haven't found the right mana cap to really go with him. You can still run him and punish. Like, if you know the Ulans are coming, you can absolutely wreck them with Craniax. Like, we've done it. Mondroid and I have both shared battles with each other where we just straight counter some crazy combo shenanigans. But like, one of the things that I probably need to be creative with is I need to figure out how to just beat Venka with Craniax, or like a Craniax team, because Venka's still very big. The tofu meta and all that's still pretty big, but stopping the tramples, I think, is very valuable. You need something to back it up, you know. What, you're stopping the tramples, you're still getting hit by something real big very frequently. So yeah, and I'm trying to think, the only other thing is Greybrow. You can stop a Greybrow play, but you've got to beat the rest of the good red team. There's still a giraffe right behind the Greybrow that's going to beat you. You've still got, you know, depending on the mana, you know, you've still got some other pretty good stuff. Keelan's probably in that lineup, depending on what it is. So, like, you've still got other stuff to fight through, even if you stop the Greybrow trigger.
Yeah, and I mean, it is one of those things where, like, he sure would have been great in the Chaos Legion meta with all the Martyr and Resurrects and EZR and all that, you know?
Yeah.
But that's where he comes in Wild, when it's like a 56 life-death battle.
Yeah. Yep. I would say...
Oh, yeah.
Filthy Scavenger would probably be another one. I would say just generally the Black team. I remember Black feeling way better during testing. And I don't really lean on Black so much. I mean, there's a couple times, like in tournaments, where I'll lean on it. I think in CA only, there's still like quite a bit, but with Rebellion, I'm not really like, I don't run Filthy Scavenger, I think, at all, really. Yeah, I think that was kind of like the other big one. It's just generally the black team, the whole shenanigans with everything having Painforge. Yeah, just never really. Who is the psychopath with the white background? Night mode, brother.
Yep, we're all blind.
Oh my goodness, I don't even know how to do that. How do you do that? Where's that button at? Do I gotta go settings?
It's just at the top there with a little half moon icon.
Where's the half moon? I don't see anything.
Next to your DEC.
Oh, there it is. It's a slide bar. Ooh. That's weird. Does this have a night mode?
Yeah.
No.
Take the sunglasses off.
Jeez. Moon next to credits. Sorry, Glory. There you go. Enjoy it. Enjoy it while it lasts. But yeah. Yeah, removing Void was huge and swinging the Orcs back to average. That was true too. Yeah, we did switch that and move that around. So that was, and I think that was good too, because I actually haven't seen like that play ever. Honestly, the enraged Venka play, I haven't really seen that. That's kind of interesting. Because that was a big one that was being tested. But black foil mode, my favorite. Yeah. All right. Well, it's 10:05, my friend. I got stuff I need to get wrapping up and going on here. You got any?
Kiddo.
Yeah, I gotta go hang out with Kiddo, feed him his last meal.
Oh no! Don't say that.
That's terrible.
No.
Yep, we gotta go get some food into him before he can't eat anymore. So,
Oh boy.
we ordered some late night pizza. So this will be big. I mean, as a college student, eating pizza at 10 o'clock was never really like I've lived it. My 5-year-old or my 6-year-old and my 4-year-old, they've never experienced this ever. So they're about to like what 10 o'clock pizza is all about. So
preparing them.
Yeah. Thank you, Jangles. I appreciate that. Yeah. Any prayers? If anybody prays, we appreciate that. And we'll keep you guys updated and let you know how it goes next week. I think I'm most interested to see like what my son's voice sounds like after this. You know, if he goes from like "Hi Dad" to "Hey Dad," be like Hey. Oh my goodness. But yeah, Mondroid, you got any final thoughts, words of wisdom, comments?
Too much. Just want to say thanks for hanging out, everybody, and making it more interesting for us, giving us stuff to talk about. So appreciate it.
Yeah, we appreciate you guys. You guys are an awesome chat. Jangles, we appreciate you showering everybody with love. I will make sure this week I'll keep trying to figure out how to ramp and put value to those subscriptions, because we appreciate you. And then honestly, that'll be another thing. If like Jangles keeps doing this, we'll have to, when we get that first paycheck from Twitch, we'll have to figure out what we're gonna do in game with it. Maybe we'll do that burn-a-thon. Maybe we'll do something crazy. But it'll be exciting. But we appreciate you guys. You guys are awesome. You guys have made this whole experience wonderful for me for 4 years, honestly. And so I'm glad Mondroid tapped me on the shoulder. I'm glad we're back at it, and thanks for joining us very regularly. But we are here every Sunday night starting at 8:30 p.m. Eastern time in the USA. You can also follow myself on Hive, and I post the recaps, or I post the I download the video and post it on 3Speak, so that way it can be watched whenever from there. Make sure you guys get your battles to us this week. #BigBrain. And we appreciated Jangles and Glory sharing their stuff this week and getting that kicked off for the first time. So much love to you guys, but have an amazing week, and we will see you guys next time. Peace.
Peace.